But still we see a certain effect of looking at something with a person's eyes. We see this in nature. We see this in nature by the egg of an ostrich, that it's born or it's hatched from the chick comes out of it through the mother ostrich apparently looking at it, and when it looks at it, even without sitting on it, like regular birds, like all the rest of the birds, they sit on their egg and warms up the egg, and after a while the egg hatches into a baby bird. But by the ostrich just looks at it. So here we see an effect of the actual looking at something. That looking at something has an actual physical effect on the object that's being looked at. And this shows an actual physical effect or power of the looking of the eyes. Now, from this effect of the eyes, this again in a much higher realm in the world of Adam Kadmon, that also he has the same bechinos that we are created from. He was the image of he's in the image of man, or we are in the image of him, right? And that just like we have this this attribute of being able to look at something and affect it in some way, so too Adam Kadmon had this ability to look at something and to affect it. This looking, which was affecting, was the oros of the Nekudim. Out of the eyes came the oros of the Nekudim. Ubezet Tavi, Masha Timtza, Besefer Tikunim, Tikun Ein, Daf Chaf Zayin. This is what we will find. With this we can understand what it says in the Sefer Tikunim, Daf Ein, Tikun Ein, Daf Kuf Ches, Shemitzayat Mitzuros Havaya Shel Shem Ben Talarosius. That Betzir Einim V'Nikudim. And this is what we find, this is the inyan that's being spoken about in the Zohar there, that there it speaks about a Shem of Hashem, Avaya, Yud Kei Vav Kei, that's made up of all eyes. Besod, V'Gavosam Molos Enayim. Gavosam, I think, means their eyes, or something like that. Gavos Enayim, it says Molos Enayim, it's filled with eyes. It's referring to the Hashem of Havaya, which is made up all of Einim. I have a diagram of that in the back. I'm going to show it for anyone who doesn't have. If you'll be able to see it. Just a second. Yeah. This Havaya is made out of all these circles and lines, and it's a Havaya made out of eyes. All these things are eyes. These little circles here with these lines, are like the eyelashes apparently. That's the picture of the Zohar. The Zohar gives this type of picture. And this is the inyan that we're talking about here, referring to somehow Olam HaNekudim, which Nekudim is the light of the eyes. Besod ve'inen ki kol bechinas ha'ayin hem nekudas kniska. The idea of this is that all of the bechina of the eyes is nekudim, as we said in a few places that the bechina of the eyes is a bechina of nekudim. V'inei kshetimna min ha'av You call Bechinas Av Yud Min Havaya. When we count from the Av, then all of the Bechin of Av, when we start counting Av Sag Ma Ben, and we relate it directly to the Shem of Havaya, Yud Ke Vav Ke, so we're going to find that Av, it refers to the Yud, it parallels the Yud of Shem Havaya. The Sag was He Rishon Min Havaya, and Sag parallels, relates to the Shem, the first He of He Rishon Min Havaya, the first He of Havaya, and Ma Osavav, and Ma relates to the first Vav, Ben Osei Achrona, and Ben relates to the last He of the Shem of Hashem. Kashenimna Hashem Bechinas Sag Levado. And when we count the Bechina of Sag, when we count the name within Sag all by itself, Yuatam Shel Sag Osud. So when we take Sag and we break it down into 4 Bechinas, which is connected the Yud Ke Vav Ke of Hashem's name, these 4 Bechinas that Sag will be divided into will be connected the Tamim, Nekudos, Tagim, and Osios, where the Tamim of the Sag is Os Yud, Venekudos Os He Rishona, Nekudos is the first He, Vatagim Os Vav, Osios Os He Achrona, the Tagim relates to Os Vav, and the Osios are the last He. That's what happens if we divide the Sag and relate the Sag directly to the Shem of Hashem. The Kasha Nechal Gam Tamim Ye'os Yud Ba'ozen. And when we divide also the Tamim, we take the Tamim, we said there are 3 parts of the Tamim. The Tamim Yonim, the Tamim Tzem, the Tamim Tachtonim. So the Yonim go in the Ozen. Yud Ba'ozen, which is, this also could relate to Yud Ke Vav Ke. The Os Hei Rishon B'chotem, and the Hei Rishon of the first Hei of the Shem of Hashem is related to the Chotem. V'osavav B'peh, and the Osavav relates to the Peh. V'os Hei Achrona B'einayim. And then the last Hei would relate to the Einayim. Now it's interesting why he's referring to, he says, it can't be that he's referring to only the Tamim. He must also be referring to the Nekudos. I think that he says this here in the Sa'ara that I have here, that he also says it, that he seems to be saying that if you take the Tamim and divide it into 3, and also you take the Nekudos, then you can have a Yud Ke Vav Ke. But really the Nekudos relate to Yud Ke Vav. They relate to the Yud is the Ozan, the K is the Chotem, and the Vav is the Peh. And then the last Hey of Hashem's name would be the Einayim. So that would make up Yud Ke Vav Ke. V'zesod Masha Amar B'Tikunim. This is the secret of the idea of what it says in the Tikunim. Ani Yeshina. Just by the way, I saw just recently in the Ramchal, he explains this word V'zeh Sod Masha Amar. He says that really the reason why we say this is the secret of what it says. It really, the simple meaning really is just this is the idea of what it says. But since it's so deep, we call it the secret of what it says, because it's deeply, deeply related. It's not just a superficial connection. V'ani yeshena, ani shniya. Ani yeshena k'neged hei rishona. I am ani shniya k'neged hei rishona. I'm second. That's referring to the hei rishona, which is second, and the osios, it comes right after the yud. Ani yeshena k'neged hei achrona, and I'm sleeping. That's k'neged the hei achrona. Ki ha-chochma hi hei rishona v'hi shniya, because chochma is the first hei and it's second. Ki noda sha'atamim hu kesem, because we know that tamim is kesem. Now this is another way of dividing it. There are 2 ways of dividing it. The Rav divides the Yud Ke Vav Ke according to Tamim, Nekudos, Tagim, and Osios in a few different ways. I think right above we just divided it. When we said Kshenim Hashem B'chinas Sag Levado, Yutamim Shel Sag Os Yud. We said the Tamim of Sag is Os Yud, and the Nekudos is Hey, and the Tagim is Vav, and the Osios is in the last Hey. And now we're saying the Tamim is Keser, V'Nekudos Em Chachma. Tagim B'Bina, V'Osios V'Zayin Tachtonos. So there are a few places where sometimes it says that Keser is the Tamim, sometimes it says Keser is the Tamim, and sometimes the Rav says that Chachma is Tamim. I don't have a good enough explanation. I think I've heard some different explanations, but I don't either I don't remember them basically, or didn't understand them. So I understand, there are explanations for why sometimes he refers it to this way and sometimes he refers it to that way, but many of the Mefarshim ask this question. Tagim is Bina, Osios is Zayin Tachtonos, and Osios relate to the Zayin Tachtonos. Venimtza, Ki Ayin Hu Bechinas HaChochma, Shehem HaNekudus. It comes out that the eye is Bechina Chochma, because we said that Keser is Bechinas HaTamim, and eye is Bechina Chochma, Shehem HaNekudus. And for this reason, the Chachmei Yisrael, the rabbis of Israel, the wise men of Israel, are called Einei Ha'eda, the eyes of the nation. V'haya im Einei Ha'eda nesa l'shgaga. It says by, I think this is a korban, a special korban that we bring. I think this is referring to a special korban that we bring. If the Rabbanim teach Klal Yisrael to do halacha in a certain way, and it comes out that they paskined that, let's say, chaylev is mutter, so then everyone went ahead and ate chaylev. That's me'inei ha'ida nesa l'shgaga, that if it came about that through the rabbis of the generation it became something that was shogeg, people did the wrong thing, then here we see that the rabbis are being referred to as Einei Eda, the eyes of the nation. And in these Nekudus, which are inside the eyes, that's where the Bechinas of Malachim of Eretz Edom Shemesu, that's where there's a Bechina of the kings of Eretz Yisrael that died. You see in Parshas Vayishlach, I think it's the end of Vayishlach, where the pasuk mentions the number of kings that ruled over Eretz Yisrael, and it said, and this king ruled over and then he died, and this king ruled over and then he died. Each one of these kings that ruled over Eretz Yisrael and died are the bechina of these. All those kings are bechina of these nekudus. We're going to learn a lot more about them later in this shar over here about nekudus. As we will explain, Be'ez Hashem. And this is also the secret of what it says in the pasuk that the land was tovavo. The Aretz is referring to the He'achrona, the last hay. She bechinas ha'ayin keniskar, which is the bechina of the eye, as mentioned above. And that was what was tovavo, the bechina of the eye, because we said the ears, nose, the ears, nose, and mouth, and the eyes refer to the yud kei vav kei. Ears to the yud, the nose to the vav, mouth to the nose to the first hay, mouth to the vav, and then the last hay is to the eyes. So this hay is referring to bechina of tovavo. Shrinya misas shiva malachim, which is the idea of the death of the 7 malachim, the 7 kings that ruled over Eretz Yisrael. Ad sheba hatikun shalem, before their tikkun came. Vaz nemar yehior vayhior. Then it says, when the tikkun came, then it says yehior vayhior, then there was light. And this is the secret of the pasuk that says, open up your eyes and see our desolation, destruction. We'll have in pasuk levar matzius ha'ayin v'nema ki hinei nekudus hem tes shem kamatz pasach tziri segel shva cholam chirik kuvutz shur. ואומנם יש בהם גם כן בחינס העליונים שהוא ניקוד החולם. There are nekudas that go on top of the osios, like the cholam, which is actually the only nekuda that goes on top of the osios. Ve'emtzai hu gan ashur, and there's also osios, nekudas that go in the middle of the os, like a shur. V'chen hashar hem tachtonim shemakom tachas osios. V'chol shar hem tachtonim shemakom tachas osios. And all of the rest are underneath, their place is underneath the osios. ואחר כך נבהר כל זה, אז Hashem, and afterwards we will explain all of this.